Good morning. Welcome back or welcome to Yoga with Ciara. It's day 7 of dynamic balance. Come. We're leaning into the end of our range. I got really interested in, as I forward bended, how did I feel that connectivity through my back? The dural tube, the fascia of my back, the muscles of my back, the structures of the bones of my back. So we're going to be looking a little bit at how do we connect into the end of range in a really wholesome way. So come lie on your back. So knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. And just begin to rock and arch into your pelvis and then flatten down into the floor. And so already as I do this, there is an end of range, so in every direction, there's sensations that begin to tell us that we're moving into the maximum possibility. And then, so there's maximum possibilities in wellness, and then there's maximal possibilities in forcefulness, which then lead to injury. So in wellness, what tells you that you're nearing your range? Nice. Begin to roll up and down and lift your pelvis towards the ceiling. So what tells you that you're nearing that elastic connectivity, which is wholesome, healthy, but a normal end of a movement. So we're not forcing, but there is a sense of I am challenging the strength of me. I am challenging the balance of me. I am meeting and opening into a sense of length through the front of my hips and the front of my pelvis, which isn't typical in my day. So I'm really meeting novel sensations as I do this, but they're very wholesome feeling. And so each of us should look really different as we do this. If all 250 of us were all in one class, we would have different shapes. We would be doing different versions of this based on so many different factors. So the next time that you rise, really just meet that. For me, it's like this long, wide connectivity of thighs, front of my hips. There's this amazing line in the deep of my belly, the psoas. It's traveling up into the rib cage, up into the diaphragm. And I have the sense of really wholesome end of range. So I'm at a certain kind of maximum that has effort, but no strain. Squeeze your bum. Nice. And then drop all the way down to the floor. Bring your arms wide. Drop both knees down towards the right and then glide that left knee up. And as you glide up, notice what tells you that you're moving into the end of your range. And there's parameters on range, so if you go so far that the gesture changes, then you've gone beyond the range of this. So if you're rolling over, that even though the range of your hip might go there, you've stopped doing gliders. Just feel that. Within the container of gliders, what is the range of your outer hip, the sacroiliac joint, the lower back, the deep of your belly? Does your shoulder become something that tells you about your range, your arm? Nice. Next time your knee comes up to whatever side you go, pause. Really sink your shoulder into the floor and feel like you're widening your chest. You're spreading and widening, and that knee is squeezing deeper and deeper up towards the opposite shoulder, and your thigh is coming towards your belly. Widen your shoulder, really sink that. For me, it's my right shoulder. I'm sinking into the floor. And really deepen into it. Nice. Glide your foot all the way back and then come to the other side. For me, I'm bringing my left knee up towards the right shoulder, whichever one you're doing. And then sink your two shoulders and widen into the floor. And again, we're being really wholesome. At no stage should you feel overwhelmed by the intensity of what you're doing, but we're increasing range, increasing strength, looking at mobility, finding balance, really managing sensations all the time. Really sink deeper into that shoulder that's on the floor as your knee, as gravity takes your knee down, you're naturally deepening. And as we add time to a pose, there will be more intensity. Nice. Come all the way back to center. So from here, draw your right knee up onto your chest and then tuck your chin in and draw your forehead up towards your knee. Nice. And then reach your right leg long and reach your arms overhead. And let them rest on the floor and just pause there. And notice your two arms. For me, one of my arms really easily lands on the floor, and the other one, I can feel the elastic of that arm is slightly shorter. So if you're feeling, oh, it's really difficult, then bend your elbow a little bit and you'll change the angle of the elastic. And typically your arm can rest a bit deeper on the floor. Nice. Bend your knee. Pull your knee up towards you, rounding your back. And then rest your arms overhead. And again, if you're having to bend your elbow, I'm bending my elbow automatically now on the left. I'm including the fact that the elastic is shorter, so I'm not forcing it. I'm finding my end of range in wholesomeness, which has a different shape than the right arm. So notice for you, are you listening to your sensations? Are you attending and including? Are you learning about yourself? Or are you forcing yourself? Squeeze. Lengthen. I'm bending my elbow. Nice. And even just doing this movement, even adapting by bending my elbow, I can feel that it's challenging my arm, but it's really wholesome challenging for me. Nice. Pause, knees up towards your chest. Can you round even more by drawing your shoulders towards your thigh? Nice. Release. Other side. Squeeze the left knee up towards your chest and then stretch your arms long. Adapting again. And what do your hips talk about? Squeeze up and lengthen long. Squeeze up and lengthen long. Last one. Squeeze up, pause. And drop to the floor. Super, just pause there. Great. So in a moment, we're going to come up to sit, but we're going to just check out the health of our knees. So if you have anything going on with your knees, remember, always mind and attend to the sensation. So bring your right foot up and place your right ankle on top of your left knee. And then just allow your knee to fall away from you. And as you do this, flex into your foot. The more active your foot is, the safer your knee is. So my knee is falling away from my torso. I'm doing a clearer and clearer figure 4. If this is strong enough for your knee, then stay here. Otherwise, lift your left foot off the floor and draw your left knee up towards you. And that's going to move into a deeper stretch of the right buttock. It's more pressure into the right knee, and there's more pressure into the ankle. Just feel, there's loads of sensations going on here that are maybe outside of your typical range on a daily basis. And then draw a circle with your left knee, which is going to move the whole shape. So circle through the lower back like there's a clock on the floor behind you. And as you do that, feel that this shape is really moving in its range. So what's its maximum range in wellness as it rolls around? And that's going to be different for each of us. And then roll in the other direction. What's its capacity to move and for you to listen? Nice. Rock from right to left. Maybe your thigh comes down on the right. You got to really use your elbows on the floor here to come back. So wherever you go to, how do you come back? So the traveling back is just as important as how deeply you go down towards the floor. How do you rock from one side to the other? And do it slowly. You know, speed isn't necessarily the best thing for range because your body will contract because you're moving so fast. Whereas if your body knows where it's going, it allows you more range. Nice. Both feet to the floor. Pause. Check out your knee. Is it okay? Did you mind it? And then change. Left foot up on top of your right knee. Just settling in. This might be deep enough, or draw your right knee up towards you, and that's going to pull your left leg in. So again, you know, one of my rants is if you have a floor at home, you should be sitting on it. Now sit on your floor. Long-term wellness. It is such an important thing to be able to sit down and then stand back up off the floor as we get older. Draw a circle with your knees. That not only sitting on the floor, but just the very action of having to lift your weight off the floor on a daily basis is an incredible practice for longevity. And then just sitting on the floor in general is incredible for your lower back, your pelvis, your hips, your belly organs, elimination, functional strength. Roll in the other direction. So rolling deeply with your knees and space above you. And what's your range here? What's your healthy maximum? Super duper. Both feet to the floor. Oh no, we got to do left to right. Sorry. Traveling over towards the right. How do you come back? Traveling over towards the left. How do you come back? So what parts of you are pulling the weight of your legs back to center? And it's a very different shape left to right. So does that feel different in your body as you return from the right side? It's a different set of muscles than when you return from the left side. Nice. Both feet to the floor. Bring the soles of your feet together and your knees apart. So hands on your belly. And I'm going to walk my shoulders and my head up and away from my pelvis. So I push my elbows down, I push my head down, and then I caterpillar my shoulders away from my pelvis. And when I do that, I feel like I've taken the wrinkle out of my spine, and it feels like it can rest on the floor very deeply. And just breathe. Nice. So keep your right leg where it is. Stretch the left leg long. And so your right knee is going to fall a bit more because your left side is now giving you a little bit more space to roll. Just feel that. Left leg is straight, right knee is bent. Really gently lift your knee up a little bit and then drop your knee down a little bit. So we're just noticing the range. Knee lifts up, knee lifts down, drops down, up. And as I do this, I'm rolling onto the baby toe side of my foot a bit. I'm not coming to the sole, I'm just rolling along the baby toe edge of my foot towards my ankle bone and then towards the baby toe side. And as you drop, how do you fall a bit deeper into the movement. And you lean a bit into the end of the range, lifting and then dropping. Nice. Soles of your feet together, knees apart. Both feet are in center now. Both knees are wide. And then lengthen out into your right leg. And again, your left hip is going to drop a bit because your right side is giving it some slack. And then lift your knee, drop your knee. How do you lean into the end of your range in a wholesome way? For me, it's a bit like, I don't know if this exists, but I feel like toffee, and that the surface of the toffee has much more fluidity to it. But when I get down into the deep of the pot of toffee, there's more density. And so there's really light toffee as the up movement happens, and then I go into denser toffee as I go down. And so I'm really honoring different when it's high, and then there's a really different sensation of feedback, of sensation, of there's a different gravity to the movement at the end of the range. Super cool. Both feet to the floor, roll over and come up into a seated position. So your legs are long. You're sitting on your bum. If you want to put something underneath your bum, then do. So in the beginning, when we do this, we're going to bend the long leg. So we're allowing for that it isn't our leg that we're stretching, it's our spine that we're stretching. So I'm going to go sideways. So bring your left foot up so that the left sole of your foot is facing the right knee. So my left knee is bent and my right leg is straight. And then bend your right knee so that your foot is flat on the floor. So my two legs are now bent. The right leg is straight in front of me and my knee is bent, and my left leg is out to the side. So reach your fingers up towards the ceiling and get really tall and upwards. So just pausing here. What does up feel like? So you'll feel pressure from your legs through the lower back. So there's a sense of that density. We're leaning into the hips. We're leaning into our lower back because they are creating a dynamic between them. And then slowly roll forward or round forward to bring your hands down towards your right foot and drop your head down. And can you feel your spine as you do this? Can you feel for me, I feel the sense of the spine and the tubes of my spine and the feedback of, I kind of get a bit of is it like an ice cream feeling? It's a really specific feeling of lengthening into the deep strings of my spine. And it happens typically in the morning for me, this feeling. Can you feel that feeling, that kind of ice cream feeling in your spine? Can you breathe into it? And you soften into it. And you drop your head. When I drop my head, I feel a little bit more ice cream feeling through the back of my neck into the back of my head. Nice. Holding onto your knee, sitting up tall. Just let that settle. That's a really profound stretch of your insides. And then reach your right hand forward straight in front of you and pull your elbow back into lawnmower, and then bring your fingers to the floor behind you. And now imagine that you're getting taller. That my bum is pushing down into the floor, my chest is widening, and I'm lengthening through my spine. Where do you feel the end of your range here? For me, rib cage is really speaking to me about, it's such a firm structure. It's going, yeah, there's a limit to what I can do because I'm a cage. My shoulders feel really soft, my neck feels soft, but my ribs are telling me, I'm rolling, I'm spiraling, I'm really moving into something here. Nice. Come back to center, stretch both legs long in front of you. Roll into your ankles. Roll in the other direction. Super. So bend your right knee, bring your foot so that it's facing your left knee. If you do want to put a pillow underneath this knee, you can, and that'll support it. And then bend your left knee so your foot is flat on the floor. Reaching up towards the ceiling, reach high, and feel that sense of, for me, there's a density around how I'm able to lean my belly forward towards my thigh. And I'm really enjoying that sense of the work of lengthening through both sides of my waist, up into my fingers, really filling through the sides of my ribs. Nice. And then round forward so your hands come down to rest on your left foot. And just see, can you find that ice cream feeling here? How would you describe that feeling? For me, it's a kind of achy, really specific feeling. I'm going to drop my head. And just notice, how is it to lengthen into this? Sink a bit deeper, softening. Nice. Come all the way up to sit. Hold on to your knee. Pause. Reach your left hand forward. Pull your left elbow back. Bring your fingertips to the floor. And I'm pulling steadily on that left knee with my right hand. And I'm spiraling taller with my torso. Breath is in your belly. Does your whole spine spiral? Like, can you check in with your pelvis, with your lower back, with your mid back, with between your shoulder blades, with your neck? Do you feel like a corkscrew rising taller? Nice. Come back to center, stretch both legs long, pause. Super. So come lie on the floor. Come rest in. You can pull your feet up towards your belly with your knees wide. Pull your feet up towards your belly. Pause there. Breath is in your belly. Just feel your spine landing, spine resting. Nice. So stretch your legs out, bring your feet to the floor. I wonder how you call that ice cream feeling. I wonder how you feel that sense of that deep inner structures moving. I'd love to know. How do you feel the ice cream feeling? So I'll see you all tomorrow. Sunday yum. Nice, nice. So great. Ciao. Slán, slán.